So you probably won't believe this, but 2 levels later, I'm out of the tournament. Well, 3 levels. This kid sits down and everything went wrong after he showed up. What's up, guys? We're on our way back to Graton Casino for the WSOP Circuit. It's day 1B of the Monster Stack. Yesterday didn't go so well overall. I was really exhausted yesterday. I didn't sleep good. Feel a lot better today. The first bullet in the Monster Stack yesterday didn't go so great. I didn't play my A game for sure. Didn't 3-bet once. I was only in there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Maybe a little more. But yeah, feeling better today. Hoping to play my A game today. Get off to a good start. The plan is to fire 2 bullets in the Monster Stack. Hopefully just 1 and we could run up a stack. But we'll fire 2 bullets if we have to. And then in the afternoon, there's also Big O at 4 p.m. Not a huge fan of Big O, but I might play it. Might fire like 1 bullet in that. Although Big O's such high variance that you probably need to fire multiple bullets. Most people probably will. But hopefully that we don't have to worry about that, and we just run up a huge stack in the Monster Stack, because this is the last day 1, with day 2 being tomorrow. It's 150K guarantee. Not the biggest fields here, but fields are overall pretty soft. At least the table I was at for no limit yesterday. The limit fields are definitely seem like they're tougher than the no limit. But yeah, so hopefully we get off to a good start, and we'll update you on the first break. Off to a really fast start in the Monster Stack. 40K starting, we're already at 116K on the first break. Pretty much a second hand off the deck that I sat down. Blinds are 2-300. I have ace-9 of hearts. We're only 5-handed at this point. I raise under the gun, I believe to 1,300, 1,200. Small blind calls, big blind calls. Flop is, I flop checks around. It's Jack 8 X. I think Jack 8 Deuce Rainbow. 1 heart. Turn is a heart. I believe the 8 of hearts. Small blind leads for, I'll go into the hands in greater detail from home, I think. But just kind of give you a quick recap here. Yeah, so this was against Bob Mather, who is Lexy Gavin's husband. They have like a vlog that's pretty well known. So yeah, long story short, I made the nut flush on the river when runner flush, and it was a weird because the small blind leads out for 3,000, and then Bob calls, and then the small blind forgot I was in the hand, and he announces he has a straight. So now this looks like a spot where I could really bluff, where I would probably bluff, knowing he's capped at a straight, and Bob is probably not that strong either if he's just calling. So I raised to 15K and make it a big raise. Small blind folds pretty quick with the straight, and Bob called after not too long of a thought. He said he had a smaller flush, but who knows. And then not too long after, I took Bob out with pocket kings. No, not pocket kings. Ace king offsuit against his 7-8 suited. He raised under the gun. I re-raised him, and we got it all in for like his 8,500. And the big hand after that was the blinds are 3,500. I raised the button with pocket kings. I get re-raised by the big blind, a pretty competent player around my age. He makes it 5,700. He has about 25K to start. I make it 12,000. I click it back for 4-bet. He shoves, and he has ace queen off. I flop a set of kings, and the board pairs the 9 on the turn. I actually didn't realize it. I saw it was a diamond. He had ace queen of diamonds. So I said, oh crap, he has a flush draw, not even realizing, because no one at the table even really reacted that he had that the boat hit. And then a diamond hit on the river. I thought I lost for a second, and then the guy that lost said, up, you win. It's a boat, full house. Not that long after, I have king queen offsuit. raise the cutoff, button calls, flop comes queen high, queen 7-8. I check it to the button. He bets 2,200. It's three ways. The big blind's also in. He bets 2,200. Big blind folds. I call. Turn is a brick. I think a 3. Check to the button. He bets 4,500. He sizes up. River's a king, so I make kings up. And I'm thinking he's going to check back if he has like queen jack, queen 10. So I got a bet here. If he has sevens or if he has a set of 7s or 8s, he's going to raise, obviously. And I have to get some value if he has like 7-8 suited. I think he would bet that, but it's kind of like only one hand he's really going to go for value that I beat. So I'd obviously hear from him if he had 7s or 8s, but he folded pretty quickly. I think he had queen jack. He acted like he was good to the river, but I don't think so. Unless he had 7-8 suited, I don't think he made a snap fold with that on the river. So yeah, we're really cruising so far, coming back to 3,600. Hopefully we can keep it rolling. Maybe get over 200K by the next break would be nice. So you probably won't believe this, but 2 levels later, I'm out of the tournament. Well, 3 levels. This kid sits down and everything went wrong after he showed up. Literally his first hand, he raises under the gun. I have ace queen in mid position. I call. Flop is ace jack 4. He bets small. Blinds are 3-6. Or yeah, 3-6. He bets small. I call. I think he bet 1,200. Maybe a little more. Turn is a 4. He sizes up now. He bets 6K, pretty much pot. I think he raised 1,500 pretty. Yeah, it was 3-6. River, he jams for 30K. So the river, what was the river? The river was I think it was a brick, yeah. So the only hands I'm really worried about are ace king and jacks. Jacks full. So it's ace jack 4-4 brick. He shoves 30K. I think the turn brought like a flush draw somewhere, like thinking maybe he turned like a flush draw with like king queen suited and turns that into a bluff. Like his obvious value hands are ace king and pocket jacks, or he could maybe have a weaker ace trying to get me off a chop, but I didn't have the chop. I had better than that. Being it was his first hand, like it's hard for me to make that call. I'd probably make the call after knowing how he played. He was very active. Yeah, so being it the first hand kind of screwed me up. Then I pick up pocket kings under the gun. Blinds are 4-8. I think it's still 3-6. 3-6. Make it 1,600. One caller, and then this like middle-aged Asian guy re-raises. He has 45K to start. I still have like over 100 at this point. He re-raises to I think 5,500 or so. I 4-bet to 12.5. He doesn't think long and chips, and he has ace king and flops an ace. So 45K pretty quickly down the drain. I mean, he couldn't get it in quick, fast enough with 45K at 3,600. What's that like? It's a lot of big blinds to get in with ace king. But I guess it's not terrible. I could have queens, jacks sometimes, but ace queen, probably not. So then that hand, and then another annoying hand was I have ace 3 offsuit in the big blind. Same younger annoying guy raises the button, so he's super wide. 4,800. Yeah, 4,800 makes it 2K on the button. I call the big blind with ace 3 off, flop an ace. It's like ace queen X with 1 heart. He bets tiny, like 1,100. I call. Turn is another heart. It's like 6 of hearts. He bets big. He sizes up more now. He bets 4K, I call. River's the ace of hearts, so it brings back to our hearts, but I make trips. Now he bombs it for 14K, and of course, I call, and he has a backdoor flush, queen 5 of hearts. Freaking gross. I mean, it was just like setup after setup, pretty much. Then the bust out hand was I defend the big blind with 5-7 of spades. Flop comes ace-9 X, ace-9 3, 2 diamond, or no, not ace-9 3. I had a gut shot. I wouldn't have just flatted the flop with nothing. Ace-9 6, 2 diamond. So I just had a gutter. He bet small. He raised 2,300 pre. He bet 2K on the flop. I float. I call. Turns a 9. Obviously, that card favors my range, so I lead for 4,800. He like kind of side calls on the turn. At this point, I think he has a flush draw or a knot or an ace. I'm hoping he has an ace when the river comes a diamond. Like if he has a flush, he's not folding. So the pot right now is like 18K, 19K. I have 25K. I shove. He like really side calls. Like he thought about it for, you know, like 30, like maybe 20, 30 seconds. I don't know. I have to ask some people about it, like see what they think of the bluff. Like I think partly I was tilted, but I think it was actually a good bluff. I went for it because he's folding an ace all day. So I have all the 9s obviously in the big blind, but maybe I could have just gave up on the river. You know, some tilt might have contributed from the other hands, but no. I think that's one part of my game that I don't go for the big bluffs as often as I should, and I'm kind of, you know, happy with myself that I did there. Went for the bluff. Didn't work out, but we'll get back in there now. Hopefully run it back up. But yeah, just frustrating when you start off super hot, get up to 116K, like 200 bigs, and just freaking couple hands kill you. That ace king, those kings hold, my God. I have over 160K. I mean, I would have lost some back, obviously, but it'd still be in. It's pretty frustrating. But yeah, I'm gonna shake it off. I don't know. Might get something to eat maybe, but first before going back in, I'm pretty kind of hungry. The blinds are keep going up though, is the problem. I think there's a dinner break soon, so maybe I should just jump back in and then eat on the dinner break. I think that's the play. All right, we will update you on the next break. Second bullet, we no good. We ran it up at the beginning. It was much tougher table than the first time, first bullet. A lot of good players, especially on my left, so that wasn't good. The bad players were on my right. The first big hand was, I kind of chipped down a bit. I think I had 30K to start the hand, maybe? Yeah. Early position raises to 6K at 1-2K. Splashy player on the button calls. I call with ace-8 of diamonds on the in the big blind. Flop is 10-9-6, 2 diamonds, so I have gutter and nut flush draw. I just jam, have some fold equity. I'm gonna get hands like ace king, ace queen, obviously, to fold. Over pairs are obviously not gonna fold, but I'm not in too bad a shape. Under the gun guy folds, and big blind or button calls. He has top 2, 10-9. I bank the straight right in the turn and make the flush on the river. What else? Very next hand, I have pocket jacks. Same guy who opened the last hand makes it 6K again. I'm in the small blind. I just decided to call. At this point, I'm up to about, I think 60K-ish, or 57, somewhere around there. A little more maybe, 60 something. Flop is 10-8-6, 2 spades. I check, he bets. I believe he bet 8K. I call. Turn pairs the 6. Check, check. River's a 5 of clubs. I bet 13,000. He side calls, and jacks are good. Then I have 5, and I'm up over 100K at this point. Then I have 5-7 of clubs in the small blind. This one player had been limping a lot. He limps from the hijack. If he raised this hand, if he raised, I wouldn't even been in the hand like he should have probably with his hand. I have 5-7 of clubs in the small blind. I limp for 25. It's 2,500 big now. Big blind checks. I flop straight draw, gutter straight, and a flush draw. So the flop is queen 6 9. No, queen 4 8. So a 6 makes me a straight, and I have a flush draw too. I check. Big blind checks. Button bets 2,500. So he min bets. I call. Big blind check raises to 12K. Big check raise. Smells like 2 pair, queens up type hand. He could have anything in the big blind. I still have to call here. I don't think he does this with a bigger flush draw. I think he just calls. I call turn. I turn a pair. Turns a 7. I check. He bets 22. I thought about just jamming on the flop, and it actually, when I get to the end, it probably would have worked. Turns a 7. So now I have a pair, gutter, and a flush draw. He bets 22K and has 20K behind. I'm like, he's never folding. I have too many outs to fold here. Let's just call and see what happens. I call, and the river pairs the 8. So I brick everything, just have a pair of 7s, 8s and 7s. 8s are on the board. I check, he checks. He has queen 6 offsuit. So all he had was a weak queen on the flop. He said he would have done the same thing with 2 pair, which is true, but I don't know. I thought he overplayed his hand a little bit. I guess he's trying to get me to fold a better queen, but yeah, so, or in charge flush draws. But he played it pretty well. He was, you know, like I said, he was probably the best player at the table, the guy on my left. Then I got bluffed out of a pot by the guy on my right. I'd flop top pair with king 8 suited. I don't actually know if I got bluffed. He showed me a jack of hearts. It came running flush again. So running hearts. I flopped a king, I had king 8. In the last hand I have, I think, like 14 bigs. And button opens for a huge raise. The blinds are 15, 3,000. He makes it 10K at 15-3. Which is like huge. And I have ace-10 of clubs. I can't fold in the small blind. He could have, you know, lots of under pairs and worse hands even too. King, queen, ace-8 suited, stuff like that. Like, he doesn't have to have a monster here. I don't know. The big sizing does make it look a little more polar though. But I shove, he calls, he has jacks, he flops a set, and that's it. I thought I played fine. I don't think there was any real spots where I misplayed, besides maybe shoving the flop with the gutter and flush draw. Actually, if I check raise there, the queen probably folds. Yeah, I thought about it for a second, so it was a pretty weak bet. Probably should have. Just to like blow him out. He's only going to continue with like queens up or really good queens. I think we're going to jump in the big O now. We'll fire 1 bullet. I don't want to fire 2. I don't like big O that much, but it's such a volatile game that you can literally be out pretty quick. And I think, not sure what level it is. I think it's level 4 now. But yeah, we'll jump in there and see how that goes. All right, update you later. I just played basically just like half of the level of the big O. Got in right before the break. Won 1 small pot. Guy on my left is a good player. I played with him a couple times in the mixed already. A couple good players at the table. I just won 1 small pot with, I think it was ace jack, deuce 6. I raise early. Big blind's 500. Raised at 12. Flop is jack 7-7, so I have aces up. Checks around, and the jack too. Turns a 6, I bet 2,200. One caller, and river's a 5, I bet 5,300, and he folds. So just chipped up a little bit. Probably just gonna fire one bullet. It's not a big field, so it's probably not worth more than one bullet. And Big O's such a volatile game anyway, so if I bust, I'll probably just call it an early night. There is like a nightly. I'm not really in the mood for that. Probably just get something to eat if I bust. All right, we'll update you hopefully on the next break. So we got off to a nice start in the Big O. We're on break again. We got up to 60K. We had ace, deuce, king, 8-8 with a ace high flush draw, spades. Guy limped. I potted on the button to I think 4,400. Another guy called, and then the limper went all in, and I ended up making kings full. He rivered a flush, but it was the hearts, but it was paired the board with the 5. Then Alan Kessler decided to complain. It got broken up from an okay table, and he said that the tables need to be balanced. And of course I get moved to a tougher table. Some tough, good players. Ari Engel on 2 to my left. He just won he won the horse tournament today. He's always tough. And then this hand comes up where I have ace, deuce, 4, 6, queen with the suited ace of hearts. Under the gun is short. He makes it 4,000. He has like 4 behind. I make it 9. Bob Mather on the button, who just sat down, has aces. He gets all in for 20, starting stacks 20K. I obviously call, and the original raiser, the short stack made the short stack made a nut flush, and then Bob's aces somehow held up against my against made, so he pretty much broke even, and so that was pretty rough. If I could just beat Bob there and make 2 pair, I would have at least broke even on the hand. Now I'm down to 40K from the 60K start. So yeah, doing all right, but I don't have the most experience playing Big O, obviously, but I play a lot of limit. But hanging in there, trying to keep the pots manageable and small. Goal is to keep it smaller against the good players, and obviously blow up the pot against the weaker players, but there aren't too many. So yeah, I don't know. Someone always has like a monster, obviously, in Big O, because the whole deck is dealt. But all right, we're gonna get back in there and hopefully run it up. Update you next break. Right out of the Big O, came in 16th, 10 cash. So it's the 3rd top 16 finish in 3 mixed events, but only 1 cash, the 11th in the Omaha. There's 61 players, so horse was 60, and Omaha I think was 90 or 91. But yeah, I was pretty card dead. I was short and pretty card dead. There was the one hand where I got quartered, which kind of put me on a downward spiral a little bit. I had, I think, 40 before that, 40K to start that hand, and that put me down in the 20s, where I had the ace 3, 5, 6. I forgot the other card, high card maybe, and then I had like a full wrap on a deuce 4, 7. So he had ace 3 with the hearts. I caught a jack on the turn. I was getting 3/4 on the turn. He hit a queen on the river for his 3/4. So that kind of started like a downward trend. And then we broke and went to 2 tables. The table I got was just looked much tougher than the other table. So a lot of raising, obviously, a lot of good players, but it's pretty card dead. I had one decent hand where I limped under the gun, and a solid like guy from Northern California raised, young guy, Asian, I think. Yeah, no, Hispanic guy. He potted it. I think I had 22K to start the hand. I limped in for 2,500. I don't remember the exact hand, but I think it was like ace, deuce, 5, 7, 9 with a suited ace of spades. So it was half my stack to call, and I just felt like I was up against like an ace-ace deuce or an ace-deuce-3 king type hand. I let that go. I probably could have called and saw flop. I had to gamble at some point. Then I caught that I got down to like all the way down to 7,500, and I had king, queen, 9, 7 double suited. Had to go with that. The big blind was 2,500. So I'm all in, and flop is great. I had 10 jack flop, 10 jack 3 flop, and I had a wrap, make Broadway on the turn, and then he makes the low on the river. So that's kind of how Big O goes, you know. You look like you're scooping, and then the other guy swoops in with the low, and you only get half. So it's hard to really, unless you 3/4 people, it's tough to build, or scoop, which doesn't happen too often. It's tough to build a stack in the game. But thought I played fine. Like, there weren't too many spots where I would have changed, really. This one guy I was playing with all day, big guy, redhead. He was pretty loose. I probably should have. That was the guy with the when I had the full wrap and he had the flush draw. If I win that, 3/4 him there, I'm in really good shape, you know. So I would have been, you know, over 60K at that point. But and you know, had some breathing room. But and then and after that hand with the queens, the queen 9 king 7 hand, I had right before the big blind, pretty much. It was big to pick it up right here. So I had ace 4 6 7 suited queen, or ace 4 6 queen with a suited queen. I got it all in against Ari, and I think he had ace deuce 3 king or something like that. I forgot the other card, but aces end up holding up. I think it was a pair of 10s on the board, so aces and 10s. Then against this Asian woman, she was a good player. She limped. A couple of people limped. I limped the button with kind of a speculative, but you know, I had to take chances at some point. I couldn't just keep folding, and I had position so on the button. So I deuce 3 king 9 7 with a suited king. Flop comes deuce 3 9 rainbow. So I'm obviously not going anywhere on this flop. It stinks not to have a low draw, but I mean, you got to pick a spot. I potted on the flop, and the woman repots. I was in for 22, I think. She has ace 4 5, and she's acting like I'm way ahead when I'm not. Like, I like her hand way better than mine. But so she has the full wheel wrap, hits the wheel right on the turn with the ace, and that's all she wrote. The board didn't pair on the river for the chop. So that's it. I said earlier, I think I said earlier that I don't like Big O. It's not that bad, but when you play with people who actually, you know, play decently and don't play stupid, like most of the people I play with from home. Oh, might have to edit that part. But so that's that. Kind of rough, you know, when you keep getting deep and not be able to make the final table or the top 5. But I think I'm playing good. You know, there's a couple areas where obviously need improvement in the mixed, but it's good experience against good players. You know, the good players always seem to be in there at the end. Like, I see the same faces usually in the top 20. So yeah, I keep saying this, but I think I'm close. I'm gonna break through sooner than later. It's gonna happen. Whether it happens now, we're at Cherokee in a couple months, which is probably gonna be my next stop in November. Who knows, but we're gonna keep at it. Just love the game too much to, you know, give it up. But so, just frustrating though, when you know you're playing pretty well and you're just not. A couple spots here and there you could have played differently, or the cards just don't seem to come your way in the big spots when the blinds get big. But yeah, I thought I played fine in No Limit too. There were a couple hands maybe, but I mean, I could have had a huge stack in No Limit, you know, 120K real quick, and just kaput, gone in 2 levels. But that's the nature of the beast. So tomorrow there's a couple bigger buy-ins at like PLO, and I'm not really PLO high player, so It's 1,000. I'm not gonna play that. There's this satellite for the main event. Forget. I have to see what time it's at. I didn't even look, but I'm pretty shot. I'm gonna go get something to eat. So the idea tomorrow is to play the satellite, and if we get a seat, we will play the main event 1A on Friday. If we don't get a seat, we will play the OE on Friday. So the OE tournament and the main event pretty much butt heads with each other. So it's one or the other. If I get the seat, I will play the main event on Friday. So that's the plan. If I don't get the seat, I will play the OE on Friday. So that's it. All right. See you next time, guys.